Hello everyone, and welcome to my final episode of Final Fantasy IV. This will be my review episode, and well, this will be my final episode until I 100% it. This is my review episode of Final Fantasy IV compared to the other Final Fantasies I've played. Music is still really good. It's Final Fantasy. All Final Fantasy games have really good music. How do I rate the music compared to the other Final Fantasies? I think it's one of the weaker ones. It's better than, say, 12. 12 had one of the worst soundtracks, I think. It's definitely one of the weaker ones. I don't remember many of the songs. Not like, say, Final Fantasy 5 and 6 had some amazing songs. 7 of course is great for music. Like Golbez, I think a lot of the songs are also used in other games. Like Sorrow and Loss. Pretty sure this is in other Final Fantasies. And that's probably why I don't notice it as much. And it feels very upbeat a lot of the time. Anyway, so what do I think of the game compared to the other Final Fantasies I've played? I didn't mind constantly losing characters and then adding new characters. I think the only character I kept the whole game was Cecil. I don't think you ever lose him. I'm kind of used to it with other Final Fantasies anyway. Like Final Fantasy VII, for example, you start off with Cloud, then you pick up Barret and Tifa later on. You lose Tifa for a while. You pick up Aerith. You lose Aerith for a while, and you gain and lose people the whole time in FF7 and other Final Fantasies as well. So that doesn't bother me so much. I liked how I didn't have to split up the party like I did in 6. 6 would have been probably my favourite Final Fantasy if it wasn't for splitting the party at different points in the game. The story is very weak. I think not losing some of the characters makes it worse. For example, Palom and Porom doing the whole wall thing, and then later on, Palom and Porom are fine. I think that makes the game worse. Like Yang surviving an explosion, Cedric surviving him falling down a big mountain and exploding himself, but still surviving. Like those, not very happy with that. There's only 2 real deaths that matter in the game, and that's Tella and Anna. But you don't know Anna at all, and you play Tella you play Tella twice. So those deaths are kind of meaningless. I would have preferred it like Final Fantasy V had a really good death, and it stayed, like the character stays dead. Like you see them ghost-wise, but I thought that was a really good, like, touching moment. It makes like the touching moments of, say, Yang's sacrifice kind of shit, because it's not a sacrifice if he stays alive. Graphics are graphic. Like it's old Final Fantasy games. It's so meh. I don't really care too much. Seeing Naming Way in every single city was kind of annoying. I think it would be better if you only seen them once, and then you would have to go back to that town whenever you would want to, like, change your name, or if you want to change your name. I'm not a big fan of the fact that I've seen them everywhere. The characters were very cardboard, especially the characters that didn't matter. Like Palom and Porom were incredibly cardboard. You'd know nothing about them. This was one of the first Final Fantasies, I think this is the first Final Fantasy, where they actually cared about character development, so you can definitely see that compared to, say, 5. 4 at least gives you direction on where to go, which is better than 5. Going to the moon and coming back and going back to the moon and then coming back and then go back to the moon and coming back and then going underground and then coming back and then going underground and coming back. That was enough. Constantly going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth is really stupid. And I really dislike that in Final Fantasy games in general, or in most games. Like, I think I even commented in Chrono Crisis, I think that's the first one, where I didn't like the whole backtracking consistently. Yeah. I really liked the final boss. The final boss was very difficult, and you had to figure it out compared to some of the other final bosses in some of the other Final Fantasies, which are just pish. Like, they're all really easy sometimes. Like, they don't do anything. Yeah, like, especially, like, say, Final Fantasy X, the Yugevin is like, you can't die because he heal, like, you're unkillable. Like, sometimes the bosses are like, the final bosses are really, really well done, and sometimes they are just not. And of course, they had to have the final boss is not the final boss, but you didn't even fight Golbez. I'm not a big fan of the fact that I didn't fight Golbez. I thought you would have to fight Golbez. Not fighting Golbez is kind of shit. I'm trying to think if where I rate this game though. A lot of the things I dislike are in this game. Like, I fucking hated Edge. Edge pissed me off to no end. There's a lot of backtracking. There's a lot of cutscenes that are just shit. Like the fighting cutscene with the airplane, not the airport, the airship and stuff like that. It's better than 12. It's definitely better than 13. But it's definitely down there. I'm trying to think. So this whole storyline was chasing after Golbez, who was trying to get the crystals, and you kept losing the crystals, but everybody was like, "Oh, save the crystal." Oh, sorry, I failed to protect it. And then you're told to protect another one. You fail to protect that. You're told to protect another one. You fail to protect that. Like, there's no... And nobody ever sees you try to protect them. They just assume or take your word for it. Like, Golbez could be saying, "Oh, I'm trying to protect them." It walks away with them. It's definitely on the weaker side of games, of Final Fantasy games. And I can see why nobody has this as their favourite. Generally, people's favourite Final Fantasies are 7, 10, 6, and 9. That's generally people's favourite Final Fantasy, and that makes 100% sense. Like, all of those are really good, and they're easily my top 4. This is nowhere near. Like, I would probably put this below... Is it worse than 5? Yes. Try to remember how memorable 5 was. This is in the top, like, I would say this is in the bottom half of Final Fantasies for me. Rating it, I can't. I'm done rating them. I don't remember how, like, this could, I would say this is about a 6 out of 10. But I don't know how well I rated, like, 5 or anything. I forget now. Yeah, so this is definitely the bottom half of Final Fantasies for me. Still a Final Fantasy game, and I still like it, but there are definitely things that I would like to not see in the game. Yeah, so it's still Final Fantasy, it's still good, but it's definitely in the lower half of Final Fantasies, I think. And it's pretty much just going to get worse. I think Final Fantasy 2 is the worst Final Fantasy out of all of them, but we will see. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you'll have fun, and I will see you all later. Bye bye.